Well, hello again, race fans, and welcome to the ongoing saga of the US IndyCar League right here on VirtualRacing.Network with you, as always. Been with you since Season 10. We keep going here in Season 13 as we're at race number 7 of 12. It's going to be 127 laps around the old Charlotte Motor Speedway from 2008, the legacy version here, Concord, North Carolina. Classic 1.5 miler that the Indy cars in real life haven't been back to for a while. But right now, we've got Indy cars out there, and that's all that matters. So the stars of the US IndyCar League now taking to the track, and we're going to head down trackside here and see if we can catch up with them and find out how we get qualified for today's race. So great to have you along with us as always. Again, my name, Trevor Greenfield, here in the VirtualRacing.Network commentary booth, and we are watching newcomer to the league, Mauro Ramirez, come back and make another appearance here with us. Great to have new drivers here in the league. Of course, last week, getting a new winner in Ryan Bowles for this season, and well, it's really anybody's season, anybody's race. Could be anybody on the pole position for today's race, that's for sure. And will it matter? That's a good question. I was talking with Dan Ensch just before the race, and we'll get to that here in just a moment. There's Jason Lowe, who manages to put his name at the top of the charts, and the sparkling purple and black and white car of Dan Ensch as well, getting up into second. So Jason Lowe, your provisional pole sitter, with Dan Ensch in second. Ryan Bowles, last week's winner, there in third. Jeff Murray making a comeback to the series as well. He'll be right now tentatively in fourth as we watch Howard Livingston make his way around here, and he'll take over the second spot. Now, of course, we can never forget Howard Livingston's real affinity for the D-shaped ovals. Doing quite well in Las Vegas, and you can never count him out. So he'll be starting outside. Nope, take it back, moving back to row 2, because it's good old Graham Bunyan who comes through and manages to snag pole position away from Jason Lowe. So here we go, Rick Kelbaugh here on his, well, he's just completed his qualifying lap, and that will put him 7th on today's grid. Again, not necessarily super important to qualify at the front here today. We watch David Strid head out there on the track, and he is our lone qualifier out there at the moment, still putting in laps. Mike West not thus far out there on the track. We'll see if we can get just a little bit more volume from these machines for you. Hope you're having a great day wherever you're at in the world. So great to have this awesome contingent of drivers from around the world. Of course, Graham Bunyan from Australia, and David Strid, also Australian as well, joining us. We also have Manuel Gomez, Esteban, and Iñigo Mardones shown as here in the field, but we will have to wait and see whether they actually get in a qualifying time today. So David Strid now second fastest there with that time shown with our timing and scoring software to be exactly the same time as Graham Bunyan, but of course down to the 1,000th of a second. Graham will take that pole position, and therefore that crucial point, that bonus point that will mean so much here at the end of the season. And we'll see whether or not it does make the big factor, as David Strid and Graham Bunyan both really involved in that title championship contention. And we'll take a look at that in the points here for just 1 second, as the drivers now line up out there on the track and get set for today's race, get gridded. Let's go ahead and take a look at the qualifying results. You saw it right here. It is Graham Bunyan with the pole position. David Strid will be starting outside. On row 2, you'll have Jason Lowe and Howard Livingston. Row 3, it's Dan Ensch with a really good start today. Going to be starting from 5th. We'll see what he can do from there. And just outside will be Ryan Bowles, last week's winner. Keep an eye on him, the number 25 car. Jeff Murray making his return to the series again. So great to have him back in the field. Richard Kelbaugh, Mr. StickQuik, going to be starting outside row 4. Richard Kelbaugh really getting a lot of great performances recently, even qualifying better. And that is fantastic news for everybody who wants to see that gray and black machine potentially up there in the podium position or in victory lane one of these days. But he'll have his work cut out for him starting from 4 rows back. Mauro Ramirez didn't quite get the qualifying I think he would like, but you can just see how tight that field is. Everybody just down to that. It's not even a tenth of a second separating everybody who has qualified. So very, very quick setup. Talking with Dan Ensch here earlier. And he seemed to feel like it may be a difficult race from the standpoint of not much room to pass really at this track as we wait for Graham Bunyan to make his way actually out onto the track. Will he get gridded? Yes, he does, just in time. So some more notes here as we get set to go. We'll get the points up there. You can take a look at the current points as they stand. And it is, of course, Graham Bunyan who leads us here, continues to lead in season 13 as we're now rounding the corner, headed down the home stretch. And David Strid slowly closing in on that lead. Just 21 points now separating those two drivers. Howard Livingston hanging on in 3rd. He's going to need some help to get 2nd or 1st, but he's still within distance. Jason Lowe, Mike West, Richard Kelbaugh, those drivers not moving up, but Ryan Bowles and Dan Ensch with some good performances quickly moving up in the order in the points. So we get set for action. We'll be doing 127 laps around the 1.5 miler. Again, so great to have you with us here worldwide on the YouTube channel for VirtualRacing.Network. Don Day, another driver, checking in with us over on YouTube. Couldn't make it. He just got home. He's a very busy man, but I hope he's in for a great day of action, and so are you. So we get set to watch Graham Bunyan lead us to the green flag and kick this one off in Charlotte under the lights. Sold out crowd here for the US IndyCar League.
Green flag.
We are underway. They head down towards turn 1, and it's Jason Lowe who's managed to lose a position on that start. Howard Livingston getting by. They head into turn 3, and it's Bowles who was trying to look on the inside of Jason Lowe. Now it's Lowe looking back on the outside of Livingston. Let's go ahead and jump on board. You'll get a chance to see what it looks like from Jason Lowe's point of view. He's got Ryan Bowles directly behind and more than he can deal with up in front. It's going to be tight pack racing all day today. We'll see who can get the best of it. They're already mixing it up at the front. David Strid, and now up to the lead, taking that position away from Graham Bunyan. Who will be the first one to try to make an aggressive move to that lead? Perhaps try to control the front of this race. That is a good question. Dan Ensch letting us know ahead of time. We expect drivers to be coming in around lap 32. Might be able to extend it to lap 36. And if it goes green the whole time, we may not see any sort of fuel strategy play out. So we'll have to see how the cautions will affect that. But that's why we get paid the big bucks, is to keep an eye on that sort of thing for you. So David Strid still in the lead here as we're on lap 5. Graham Bunyan and David Strid side by side. Headed down into turn 3 and through 4. It's Strid still in the lead. Bunyan hanging out on the outside. They're trying to form a blockade at the front. Just behind, it's Howard Livingston. Started a position further back in 4th, now up into 3rd. I told you he likes these D-shaped ovals. And you certainly can't count him out when push will come to shove at the end of this one. Jason Lowe running back in 4th. Question as to when he'll make his move. And then Ryan Bowles hanging on there in 5th. Bowles to the inside of Lowe. It's what it looks like from Bowles onboard cam. And you look out the back. It's maybe a little deceptive, that distance. Not very much at all. Just a couple of tenths of a second back there to Dan Ensch. And Ensch certainly knows how to get through 127 laps of one of these types of races. So I think what we're going to be seeing is a lot of drivers just trying to hang on and survive. Maybe hope that tire degradation will manage to catch out some of their competitors. Hopefully they'll feel like they can make a move that will get them in position to take this win at the end. So much more racing to go. So we're just now starting lap 10, and back up at the front it is Strid and Bunyan who continue to run side by side at the front of this one. Looking back a little bit further, we've got some more positions changing hands. It's Mauro Ramirez and I believe that's Manuel Gomez Esteban just behind. Let's take a look there at Gomez Esteban, one of the good friends to VirtualRacing.Network, one of the contributors last season to our fundraising effort, and he's got a brand new livery. It's looking awesome. Still got the Super Mango sponsorship on the back. Number 99 car looking really sharp out there, but he's still going to have to come through 10 cars to get up into that lead spot, so we'll see whether or not he can manage to do that today. And just behind him, Mike West bringing up the tail of the field. Again, all these drivers just within now just 3 seconds of each other, so they haven't necessarily lost the draft at all. Move back up to the front. And it is David Strid who's continuing to lead here. Again, this the Charlotte 190 presented by StickQuik. StickQuik.com, the greatest device that you probably don't yet have in your house, but once you find out about how cool it is, you maybe will. We'll talk a little bit more about the StickQuik coming forward, but great presenting sponsor for the series and paying for a good deal of the cost here for the series as well. Strid and Bunyan fly through turn 4 and back out onto the start-finish straight as we are now under lap 15. So that's how fast this one's going. And we've got Jason Lowe sliding through the infield and coming to a stop there just on the entry of turn 1. He gets it spun back around. Try to take a look and see if we can figure out what caused that one. Jumping back here for just a second. Looks like he gets loose off of 4 and then just gets down into a little bit of that grass on the inside. And boy, that car goes flying and jumping through the grass, spraying bits of dust and dirt all over the place. We did not go yellow. We stay green here. And Lowe gets back underway. No harm, no foul. Let's go ahead and take one more look from on board Lowe's machine. There it looks like he just perhaps got a little loose coming off of the corner, tried to straighten it out and correct it. Goes on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, for those of you who have been to the Disney parks. And back underway. So we'll get back to the live picture, and you've really missed very little. However, Lowe, well, he hasn't lost the lead lap yet. As we take a look a little bit further back, from overhead here, the StickQuik.com blimp, you can see Lowe not that far back. Go on board, take a look back. There you can see very small black and red car way back there in the distance. That is David Strid, and just behind him, Graham Bunyan coming in a hurry. So Lowe will be hoping for a caution to be able to circulate back around and get caught back up to the lead. But nevertheless, as we look back at David Strid and Graham Bunyan, these two continue to battle here on lap 20, and it's quickly becoming almost a two-car show. As we look a little bit further back, though, you can see Howard Livingston and Ryan Bowles battling it out here for third. Here's looking back from Livingston aboard the Care Camps machine. And of course, we've certainly been talking about Care Camps off and on, but we'll get a chance at the end of the season with our Indy race to be able to talk a little bit more about that Care Camps machine, that Care Camps organization that is on the side of Howard Livingston's machine. So these drivers now fighting it out for third place. This Howard Livingston, who gained that spot on the start from Jason Lowe. And at that time, we thought maybe Lowe was just going to be hanging out there in fourth place. Unfortunately, those car correction issues kind of costing him there. Unfortunately, Jeff Murray's got a beautiful car, but we can't show it too much because of our copyright policy. So unless Jeff works for Bumble and has a sponsorship agreement with them, we can't officially show that logo or anyone else's logo out there. And that's just the way it works with US copyright policy and iRacing's broadcast policy as well. We don't control those things. There's Dan Ensch, though, and he's got rights to use all of those logos, including the ALZ.org. And of course, we did that race last week. For those of you that didn't get a chance to see it, it was a special race where we got a chance to talk a little bit more about the ALZ.org and Alzheimer's Association that you see there on the engine cowling and on the front wing and on the rear wing of Dan Ensch. So Ensch actually has dropped one spot today, with Murray actually claiming 2 spots so far. And so Ensch now continuing to try to stay up here with this lead group. It really hasn't drifted back very far. He's still within 3 seconds of that lead, and he's going to be fighting, though, as he's now back about 6/10 from Jeff Murray. He won't want to lose that draft of Murray. And we look back at the front runners again. It's Graham Bunyan and David Strid putting on a show for the Charlotte fans here at Concord, North Carolina. A virtual $100 per ticket, sold out crowd, standing room only here to see the US IndyCar League at the virtual 2008 version of the Charlotte Motor Speedway on iRacing. Swapping draft back and forth. That is the story today, as Bunyan and Strid continue to battle it out for the lead. And I think maybe the one thing that they would have worked out ahead of time is, can we swap the draft and somehow walk away from this field in what is essentially a pack racing race? And it looks like they are effectively doing that, as they have managed to now walk away a 1.5 seconds now, coming up on 1.6. It's dropping even further back to Howard Livingston running in third place, and now Howard is definitely falling out of that lead and losing that draft, which is just so crucial to making this work and being able to stay up there and possibly have a chance at the end. So Howard going to be hoping for a yellow or perhaps Jason Lowe to slow up these leaders and give him a chance. Get back up there into that front group. So once again, if you're watching us on YouTube, it's great to have you with us. Whether it's live or recorded, you're checking out the US IndyCar League maybe for your first time. This is a fixed setup IndyCar League. It's been going on for 13 seasons. And through season 10, Jason Lowe, the series champion, but from season 11 onwards, it has pretty much been the Graham Bunyan show. As before that, Graham Bunyan showing lots of moments of flashes of brilliance, but putting it on full display, taking the season 11 and season 12 championship, and now working on that third title. There he is, flying forward as David Strid has actually fallen off of that lead, and now Strid misses the pit road entry and has to slow, and that will drop him down the order. So Strid making a very uncharacteristic mistake. We'll see if we can let's take a look back here, see if we can figure out exactly what happened here with Strid and Bunyan. Bunyan goes by Strid. We'll see if we can tell what caused Strid to lose that draft to Bunyan. We're taking a look at the replay to see if we can figure it out, as now David Strid has headed into the pits, as has Graham Bunyan. And we're going to take a look here just a moment. As we are still attempting to figure out what caused that moment from Strid. We fast forward for just a second, see if we can pick it up here for you here on VirtualRacing.Network. This kind of detail, a little interesting and important to, it's all these fine details here, and I think he just kind of lost the draft. But here is Strid coming back out of the pits, as is Bunyan. So these two coming in on lap 37, and now we're getting a lot of our other drivers. Dan Ensch electing to stay out, maybe getting some better fuel mileage. Ryan Bowles pitting. We've got Richard Kelbaugh on pit lane, Manuel Gomez Esteban, Mike West, and Mauro Ramirez all on pit lane at the moment. Actually, Ramirez will rejoin. See if we can get the track map up there for you so you can follow along with where everyone is. There, Mike West headed out. So Dan Ensch continues to circulate. He'll get the bonus points for leading a lap, and now he'll pull it into pit lane. Beautiful sparkling car under the lights as Ensch now pitting from that lead position. And Graham Bunyan looks set to recapture it here in just a moment, as he will make his way around turn 3 and turn 4. You can follow along there on the track map as we watch Dan Ensch here taking service on pit lane. And flying by on the track, well, there he is. It's Graham Bunyan. And you may think that that's Jason Lowe there running in second, but in fact, he's not running in second. Of course, those of you that saw earlier, he had a moment on about 15 laps ago where he got loose off of turn 4, managed to save the car somehow from hitting the wall, but went on quite a roller coaster ride through the grass and got turned around, now back underway, but just going a lap down. And again, not where Lowe would like to be, but should a yellow come out, there's a good chance at some point Lowe will be able to get that lap back. And so he'll try to hang out just behind Graham Bunyan. Take a look on board Graham's 101 machine. All clean air up there in front. That's exactly what you want to see. Unfortunately for Bunyan's unofficial teammate in David Strid having that issue earlier, but you know, even with that issue, he's only dropped to 8.7 seconds off of the lead. So Howard Livingston now 5 seconds adrift of Graham Bunyan, and basically Bunyan's strategy now is to just drive fast laps. That's all he wants to do. Let's see if we can change our tower here so that you can see the fastest lap times. And you can see actually the fastest that time by was was Ryan Bowles there in third, 24:06. And Ramirez with a 24:01, West with a 23:98. So some of these drivers actually able to go faster than the leader at this point. And that could be because they're in the draft and Graham Bunyan is having to run solo laps. So we'll just keep an eye on that gap as it exists back to the other drivers. This time by, what do? 24, almost identical lap to the last lap, 24:23. Our timing and scoring, of course, shows us two different times depending on where we look at it, but 24:23. Meanwhile, David Strid in catch-up mode back there, putting in 23:95, so pretty much 0.3 faster than our leader here, Graham Bunyan. But Graham Bunyan continuing to lead here, lap 47 of 127 at the 2008 Charlotte Motor Speedway. You can see, as I mentioned before, Jason Lowe just hanging off the rear wing of Graham Bunyan as Bunyan tries to keep putting in those clean laps. 24:24. It's just so consistent. That time 24:23. I mean, can't really ask for much more, but I tell you what, look who's climbed up into third place, starting all the way back in 10th place. It is Iñigo Mardones who's feeling it, making a move around Howard Livingston for second place. The Spaniard climbing up into the top podium positions and making a move here in Charlotte. We'll see whether he can hang on to that car, make those adjustments that he needs to get around Howard Livingston. He goes side by side. He's on the outside. There, we take a look at the view. That's Livingston there in the 13 on the left side. And Mardones continues to work the high side on Livingston. Will he get the run on the backstretch? Livingston sticking tough on that inside line, running what Gary Godso, my fellow commentator, loves to call the IRL line. You just defend that inside line and make everyone else have to work hard for it, go to the outside. And here he goes again around the outside. Will he be able to pull it off this time? Now you can see Ryan Bowles. Bowles has actually gone down now. I want to say he's gone down a lap. He is shown down a lap at the moment. There we get the gap up there on the screen. So Bowles Sorry, that's Jeff Murray. I'm so used to looking at a different car. Jeff Murray, of course, getting out of that neon green machine that he had for so many seasons and now into a yellow-black machine. And we certainly hope that Jeff Murray's dating adventures go well. The driver out of Ohio now running in 4th spot. He's up 3 positions. And just in front, again, it's Iñigo Mardones trying that high side on Howard Livingston, and he's just not quite able to do it. In the meantime, that actually has allowed Graham Bunyan to put a little bit more time on Howard Livingston, as he's now having to take a slightly compromised line into the corner. Livingston defending to the inside, and Mardones trying the outside again. We'll see whether Mardones can manage to take the position or whether it's going to stay pretty much status quo. It is so difficult to snatch that position on the high side here, but it can be done. You see just a little ways back from this group there, that's Dan Ensch closing in, as well as David Strid. So we may have quite a shakeup here as these drivers start to try to possibly find a way around these two as they battle. And that's really the big key, is when you go too wide like this. Now, we saw David Strid and Graham Bunyan at the front of the race not long ago. They were able to draft swap and therefore not really cost each other much time. In fact, gain a little bit of time on the rest of the field when they were able to do that. But because these two are racing side by side, all that does is compromise their lines, and with the arrow push, etc., have to lift your foot a little bit out of the throttle. That's going to give some drivers like Jeff Murray and Dan Ensch a chance to catch up from behind. Possibly make the pass there as we continue here in Charlotte. Coming up on halfway here momentarily, as Livingston is now 6.3 seconds adrift of the lead. It won't matter if there's a yellow, and it wouldn't matter if these two could work together and possibly climb their way back up to the front. But right now, it is Livingston and Mardones pretty much side by side every lap for that second position. In the meantime, we'll look a little bit further back, and there is David Strid. He was running up in second, had that little bobble coming to pit lane, and lost some time, but does he have it in the car to potentially get back up there and take the position? It's looking like he's fallen off a little bit from Ensch, so he's like 9/10 of a second back at this point. Maybe just watching this one unfold in front, perhaps trying to work a little bit of fuel-saving magic, and there goes Iñigo Mardones. Mardones actually now under attack from Jeff Murray, and Murray and Mardones fighting it out, but Ensch just got wicked loose a moment ago. Now falling back into the clutches of David Strid. Definitely that air coming from up in front in this battle with Mardones and Murray. I guess while we were looking away, Mardones must have suffered a little bit in trying to race Howard Livingston, because he fell off of Livingston by multiple car lengths, and that gave Murray a chance to try to attack. And really, that's what it's all about here, as Mardones looked like he got maybe a little loose there coming off the corner, perhaps jacking up that weight jacker, and maybe that's what caused him to drop a couple of positions or a couple of lengths off of Livingston. And really, this is just a game of inches. It's so amazing to think. Let's see how fast these drivers are actually going out there. 218, 219. upwards of 220 miles an hour here in Charlotte. And you'd think at 220 miles an hour, things would be moving so fast you can't even deal with it. But it's actually, drivers are so hooked up. You know, let's jump on board. It's not that it's difficult per se to drive a car around one of these D-shapers, especially when it's pretty much flat out the whole way around. But it's those little differences. You know, you watch Graham Bunyan now, he's half a lane up on the track as the tires start to wear. That works well with the adjustments that you make in the cockpit, perhaps not putting as much strain on those right side tires. The adjustments, of course, front and rear anti-roll bar, and then that ever so crucial weight jacker. And now we're watching Graham Bunyan slowing down to pit here from the lead. Looks like he gets it plenty slowed down. No reason to risk it. You've got such a huge lead. No need to get the perfect pit entry where you just, you know, you don't leave anything on the table. Save that one a little bit. Did we just have somebody off? And I believe it was Mauro Ramirez having a moment there. Let's take a look here. This just happened a moment ago. This Mauro Ramirez. And there he makes contact with the wall. Goes sliding through the grass a la Jason Lowe just earlier in the race. But he will get back going again. Waits a moment and finally gets that machine back underway. As Graham Bunyan heads down the pits, and we look at Mauro, who probably is serving a penalty at this point for an unsafe pit entry, which is what happens when you accidentally enter the pits. You do have to get entered properly where between the two cones, and you have to make sure that you get slowed down at that point, otherwise you'll get a speeding penalty. But Dan Ensch now taking over that lead again and continuing to outlast the competition, as has been the standard practice from Dan Ensch. When in doubt, fuel save seems to be his MO each week. And you can't really blame him. I think the amazing thing is we take a look here at Manuel Gomez-Esteban for Team Azinger. He's in second place, possibly going to take over first here. We'll watch for that as Dan Ensch, Gomez-Esteban continue. And we are yellow. This is going to play a huge factor potentially in the race. And it's Jason Lowe. No, it is Iñigo Mardones who has had a moment. Let's see if we can figure out what caused it. Here's Mardones exiting the pits, drifting up on the track, and so very close to the leaders, catching poor Richard Kelbaugh, who unfortunately will see damage after that one. And Mardones, who was having such a fantastic race, now out and on pit road. We'll go once more and take a look. Oh, it's such a huge contact there as Kelbaugh comes into contact with him. See if we can back it up one more time, and we'll take a look from Kelbaugh's point of view. Here he is flying through the corner and tries to take a evasive action, but just nowhere to go. Had a car on his outside, and Mr. StickQuik, as he is known, Kelbaugh hopefully able to get that fixed here under the caution and stay on that lead lap, so crucial. But we're going to have to watch and see how this one plays out, as Dan Ensch is yet to make his second stop. Oh, now, and he is on pit road, as is Manuel Gomez-Esteban. And I tell you what, this is going to definitely change things a little bit, as Ensch will head back out onto the track, and Gomez-Esteban just behind in second place. So We'll wait for this one to clear up, but I think you can see what we're talking about here. So while we are yellow, we are going to go side by side, get in our commercial break, and find out about the most awesome device you may or may not know about. Hey, look, it's new photos. I promised they'd be coming. Here they are. It's straight from the website where you can see many more photos if you want to get some ideas on how to use it, but check it out. Now, you've never done anything like this with your tools. Look at the little bars up there made of metal. You can just stick anything you want to anything. Look at these utensils for your kitchen sticking to the side of the refrigerator. So easy. Just grab that mixer as soon as you need it. Just slap it right back on that refrigerator as soon as you're done. No fuss, no needing to hang things up, put them in drawers or anything. Look at the inside of your medicine cabinet. If you're in a commercial kitchen, so handy to keep all these tools right where you need them. I mean, the list goes on and on. If you have anything you want to stick to anything, it's the StickQuik. Now, StickQuik is the proud presenting sponsor of the US IndyCar Series, US IndyCar League, excuse me. And you can see even, you can keep your vape handy in your car, pens, anything you want to stay handy or stick to anything at all that is steel, you can do it. I mean, there's a flashlight on your screen. How often does, you know, if your power's going out or if it's dark at night and you just want to go outside for a second, you want to take your flashlight with you, don't go looking through drawers endlessly in your camping gear and gosh knows where else your flashlight ended up. Just get the StickQuik. And so it's these little rings you can see. They have 6 different colors. Comes in 6 different sizes. Whatever works for you, you get these rings. They come in different sizes. And again, you can stick anything to anything. Here's your razor. I talk about it all the time. There's the razor getting stuck to the tile backsplash in your shower. How cool would it be to be able to stick stuff up around your shower like that and keep it handy? So there they are on the screen. You just head on over to StickQuik.com and get yours today. You get a whole pack like this. I believe they're under $20. And it's just the coolest thing to have around your house. You'll reuse them. They're made of great heavy duty durable silicone, so they're chemical resistant. Can't say much more about it. Organize anything, start 2022 the right way. Get your StickQuik right now, StickQuik.com. Tell them that the US IndyCar League sent you, and they will be happy to know that their sponsorship is working. So back underway, and you see what has happened. We were just talking about it ahead of time, and Dan Ensch and Manuel Gomez-Esteban, through fuel strategy alone, have managed to take over the lead in this race. And we wait for the green flag here as Dan Ensch now in the lead over Manuel Gomez-Esteban, and they will lead us back to the green flag. There's Jason Lowe taking a look at the outside of Gomez-Esteban. Lowe is a lap down. And there goes Graham Bunyan very quickly by Lowe into that 3rd spot. He was in that 3rd spot, of course, but because Lowe and Bunyan not racing for position. But I tell you what is for position. Bunyan needing to get around Manuel Gomez-Esteban. We'll jump live on board with Bunyan as he tries the high side on Manuel Gomez-Esteban, racing for Team Mazinger. It's Esteban and Bunyan side by side, and Bunyan now on the high side, able to get it done. He'll slide back up into 2nd. We'll see whether Gomez-Esteban can stay hot on the tail, but don't look now. It's Dan Ensch having to do battle with series champion and the series leading driver, Graham Bunyan, who's on his right rear. They're side by side, headed through 3 and through 4. It's Ensch off the corner in the lead. He'll lead this lap for how many more, as there's just 47 laps remaining here. One more pit stop to the end. And that yellow flag may have caused some changes in strategy, as now Bunyan working the low side. and he'll take that position from Ensch. Ensch now falls back. Will Ensch get a chance to make another move? Here he is on the outside again. He's going to try to work that outside line like we saw Iñigo Mardones trying for so many times on Howard Livingston. There Ensch getting that draft again and pulls to the high side on Bunyan. This is exactly what Ensch wanted. He wanted a chance at the win. He wants a chance to get that ALZ.org Dallara IR18 into victory circle. Will it be here in Charlotte, or will he have to play second fiddle again to the legend Graham Bunyan? That is anyone's question, as Bunyan continues to lead now and starting to move out in front just ever so much. Now about 5 car lengths out. Will Ensch be able to make the move and stay with Bunyan to get to the end of this one and then send it down into turn 1 or turn 3? We'll find out, as now David Strid closing in on the back of Dan Ensch as well. Strid having gotten around Manuel Gomez Esteban there for 3rd position, and now Strid, this was what he was waiting for as well. So we look at Gomez Esteban starting to slide back through the field a little bit, and Lowe up into the wall again. Perhaps it was just on our side and maybe he didn't scrape the wall too badly, but is able to continue there. Still running a lap down, first car a lap down. And good news for Richard Kelbaugh. Richard Kelbaugh fans, he's continuing there, Mr. StickQuik. Unfortunately getting caught out in that accident earlier as Mardones drifted up the track, but able to continue here, and Mr. StickQuik in 9th place at the moment. Bunyan and now Strid back in 2nd, and Strid makes his move to the front. Don't forget, these two are in a championship battle as well. And the points so very valuable between Strid and Bunyan. I mean, part of me thinks that these two, you know, I've talked with Graham several times over the course of the season, and, you know, it's pretty much pretty much game on as usual with Graham Bunyan in terms of racing with any of these drivers, and certainly David Strid, his friend and countryman and unofficial teammate. But I mean, I don't think Graham Bunyan wants to lose this championship, and Strid is making every case, every chance he can to try to get up there, take the lead, and possibly be able to get the most points for the week, and certainly get those bonus points for leading. But hey, I'll tell you what, Dan Ensch has not fallen off at all. Here he is back on the rear wing of David Strid, so perhaps their draft swapping ways, not quite able to walk away from Dan Ensch quite as much, but being 3rd car in line like Ensch is here, always the more difficult thing to do than being 2nd in line. So just 37 laps remaining here in Charlotte. Great to have you with us. Some spiciness happening in this one, as we had a couple of drivers having some issues, and one of them's kind of spinning and laying on the track, and that caused our first caution of the day, and so far only caution. And I'm kind of thankful for that, as we got a chance to do our commercial break without having to interrupt this great battle. But what it's done is allowed Dan Ensch and Manuel Gomez Esteban to jump several other drivers. They got the lead initially, but now the Australian juggernaut there of Strid and Bunyan have taken to the front. So Ensch now in 3rd and Gomez Esteban in 4th. We'll see whether they can stay there, whether Ensch has anything to catch up to the front two coming up soon. Take a look back from the Super Mango machine. There you see it's Howard Livingston having to do some battle here with Jeff Murray, and Murray not making it easy. These drivers now flying by, and Livingston hanging on to that 5th position. Murray up a position. Livingston having lost a position today, but again, some shakeup coming because of that yellow flag. And now we'll get a chance to see everyone's true pace here at the end. Crucially, whether any of these drivers can rebound and get up there to the front. But here we go again. It's David Stridd and Graham Bunyan trying to draft swap. But I tell you what, look at that Dan Ensch car sitting just behind. And I don't think any of these drivers, there's no way any of these drivers can stretch to the end. Not in any way, shape, or form can any of these drivers stretch to the end. But we will see who manages to get in short fill, perhaps their car, as, you know, Dan Ensch, they're closing up on the back. Ensch and Gomez Esteban stopping on lap 73. And Bunyan stopping on 67, Stridd on 63. So much older tires on Stridd's machine and Bunyan's machine. And we'll be seeing them coming into the pits here probably, well, 63. We should be seeing David Stridd here in about the next 4 or 5 laps. And then we know that Bunyan is about 4 laps later than that. So what's going to happen as we get to the end here, the drivers that are able to go the longest will get a chance to take less fuel in their cars. And so that normally takes about 8 seconds to fuel up the car. So you can just imagine about a half a second to a second or more's advantage, being able to take less fuel on pit lane. You'll gain that half a second to a second, and that may be just enough to take the position on the track for somebody like Dan Ensch, or perhaps for somebody like Graham Bunyan or David Stridd. If they can manage to do something like that, they'll manage to possibly break that toe to the other car. So we're just here on lap 99, and it's Stridd to the inside again on Bunyan. And Stridd, and now Bunyan having a problem. Bunyan dropping off the pace. What has happened to Graham Bunyan? He is now dropping. And Mike West now into the pits as well. We go back to Graham Bunyan, West, Bunyan's teammate. I have no idea what just happened. We'll go back to the last pass that was made by Stridd on Bunyan. We'll watch from Bunyan's point of view. Did he make contact? Did he get a little loose? Stridd kind of went through pretty fast there. Oh, and I think Bunyan was trying to get into the pits to undercut everyone, and he could not do it. So again, pit problems costing some of our leaders. Last time it was David Stridd. Now here comes Bunyan in again. This is the live picture you're looking at. Did not get locked up there, fortunately into the pits safely. And now Stridd exiting the pits. So that just tells you how much time was lost by Bunyan. We go back up to the front. It is Dan Ensch who takes over the lead. And we're going to have to wait for this pit stop cycle to go through before we can tell who will be in the lead and who's going to have to play catch up. But it's Ensch back to the lead with Gomez Esteban just behind in second, just over a second back. Esteban, if he dialed that car in, could potentially find a way to catch back up there to Ensch. And we will see. But so we've had Will Stearns stop by, and too bad that we didn't have Stearns in the race today. This could have been a fun one for him. He's a great competitor. And unfortunately, yeah, we're having some chat here in the chat room that between Iñigo Mardones and Will Stearns. Indeed, Iñigo Mardones watching on, his fellow countryman here, Manuel Gomez-Esteban from Spain. And Mardones, you had such a great run going, brother. It was looking real good for you. I thought you were definitely going to get a podium position today. We'll have to get you back out there next week. And boy, I don't know where you got that speed from, but it was certainly impressive early on. Unfortunately, I think that really hurt when making those adjustments to keep that speed. I think that probably really hurt Mardones, and that's just part of it, is you can dial up these cars a little bit as we get Howard Livingston and Jeff Murray now into the pits. Livingston from third and Murray from fourth. Back up into the lead, it is Dan Ensch here, just 21 laps to go. And with Bunyan's mistake, it's really, if Dan Ensch does not make any mistakes here, it's probably going to be Strid or Ensch. So it is going to be a factor. Ensch is going to have absolute precision, but the win is in the cards for Ensch if he can manage to put in the fast laps and make a great entry and exit off a pit road. This could be the ALZ.org machines night to be remembered here in Victory Lane in Charlotte. I know it would have been so great to have this happen just one race ago during the ALZ.org race from Milwaukee, which was a fun one. You can go back and watch that one as well. Great if you're into IndyCar racing, or, you know, certainly if you enjoy US IndyCar Series. I keep calling it a series, US IndyCar League. As you see Howard Livingston exiting the pits there, we have all of the races archived right here. Talk about binge watch worthy. You could go back and start right at the beginning of the season and watch them all the way through to now, even last season or the season before. And here is Ensch on pit road. Looks like he got perfectly onto pit road, and now this is where the pit crew for the ALZ.org Last Lap Motorsports team can really earn their money's worth. As Ensch is into the pits, the flash bulbs snapping out there on the track, and he takes so little fuel. Did you see that? I don't even think he took tires. He took so little fuel, so quick on pit lane. We'll take a look here at the pit lane time. Once he gets back out here, almost gets it loose exiting the pits. Graham Bunyan now just 1.2 seconds behind. Ensch having to stick it out. Definitely lost some time out there. And there goes Bunyan sailing by to the lead. But Bunyan and Strid now to the lead, but Ensch is right there. It's going to be a three-way battle for the race. 16 laps to go. Will Bunyan and Strid be able to swap draft and get away from Ensch? Will Ensch have anything for Bunyan and Strid at the end of this one? I don't think he took tires, so I don't think he'll have a chance. Again, that was how close it was. Trying to take those tires or not. And trying to short fuel there for that final stop. But unfortunately, Ensch not able to hang on to those lead two. And now this becomes a battle between the two Australian favorites in the league. David Strid and Graham Bunyan with just 14 laps remaining. Dan Ensch still within distance, but a good 10 to 15 car lengths back. Jason Lowe not in contention at the moment. The first car a lap down. That's the fuchsia car that you see back there in the back. But another car that's having a great race, Jeff Murray, back in contention here in the US IndyCar League and really showing off some skills, able to keep that yellow and black machine right up there in the front. Looking at a potential top 5 today, but also another driver with a great run here today. It's Manuel Gomez-Esteban, who's potentially looking at a top 5 as well. Mike West quite a ways back there, 1.7 seconds back. So we'll see West possibly able to close in, and this would be one of the better races for West as well. as West has had so many incidents, it's been difficult to keep count. Unfortunately, it just seems like little incidents keeping West from getting those top fives that he certainly has the speed to do. But whether he can do it today, we will find out here in just about another 10 laps to go, as that's all that's remaining out of 190 laps. Just coming up on 10 to go here as Strid and Bunyan continue to fight it out. So just 10 remaining, and Strid back to the inside in turn 3. Will we have another situation where one of these drivers makes a mistake at the end? Maybe. Or perhaps we'll get a chance to see a nice photo finish. Either way, we look forward to the results. Just 9 remaining as we watch these two battle it out for the race win. So it seems like a perfect time. Take a ride around with David Strid. We'll enjoy last few laps of this one on board with Strid as he battles it out with Graham Bunyan. Maybe we'll get a little bit closer into the cockpit. Here's on board, right what the driver would see from on board. And this is how swapping works at the front of these races. So Strid stays high and lets Graham Bunyan go to the low side. Just 6 laps remaining, and unfortunately, Ensch now dropping back about 2 seconds adrift of this battle. So really, this is where it's at for the end of this race. But with that fuel strategy, Ensch and Esteban really having a fantastic race and hoping to hang on for those results. As we continue to watch Strid and Bunyan battle it out for the lead. It's Ensch in 3rd, Murray in 4th, and Gomez Esteban in 5th. Mike West hanging out there in 6th place. So who will it be at the end of this one? It's anyone's guess as they continue to swap. Just 4 to go, 3 this time by. Only so many chances remaining for these drivers. Looking here on the StickQuik.com blimp. It's Bunyan to the inside, and the question is, when does the fun draft swapping end and the race for the win begin? I think it's only a matter of time until we see these two start to play a little trickery with each other and maybe try to take that race victory. Bunyan continues to work the inside, just 2 laps remaining. They head through one for the second to last time. And it is Bunyan still in the lead. So these drivers continuing to swap, and now Bunyan back to the inside as we start the final lap. Who will it be, Graham Bunyan or David Strid? Here in Charlotte. It's the old Charlotte, but it's raced pretty well today. Little difficult to get around, but Strid now tries the inside on Bunyan. Bunyan stays high. Will we see a photo finish for the end of this one? They're still side by side. It's Strid and Bunyan, and it's Strid by the very end of that nose on that Dallara IR18 IndyCar. David Strid taking your win, and Graham Bunyan just behind unofficially with the exact same time. I see 1/100th of a second, and there The podium position also for the ALZ.org machine that Dan Ensch has been looking for. Jeff Murray back in action this week and taking 4th place. And Gomez Esteban, something to be happy about on that Dan Ensch fuel strategy, able to take over and be up there in the front, end up with a top 5. So we'll take a momentary breather as this one wraps up here in Charlotte. We'll get a chance to talk with some of these drivers here in a minute as they climb out of their machines. There's David Strid, your race winner here in Charlotte. You can get some beautiful donuts for your Sunday morning. I know I'd love to be having some donuts right now. Actually, I'll be enjoying some stroopwafel here with my coffee here momentarily. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday wherever you're at, and happy 2022 as Bunyan and Strid play tag out there with their Indy cars. This is a very expensive game to do, but again, when you're winning the races and you're winning the championships, I guess you get all that prize money. You can destroy a race car or two as they finish up here. So Strid taking victory. Not really a shock, but the fashion in which they did it was dominant. Strid and Bunyan from the very beginning having an excellent strategy to try to just walk away from this group. They didn't qualify exactly together, but well, actually, I apologize. Yes, they did. They qualified on the front row together, and that pretty much allowed them to walk away. At one point, it looked like Ensch and Gomez Esteban might have something for him, and Howard Livingston, unfortunately, was running up there in 2nd place and dropping back to 8th. And so that that's unfortunate for those drivers. And so we'll try to see if we can catch one of these drivers here in just a second as they climb out of their cockpits, wipe some of that sweat off their brow. And I guess we do have one of the drivers here who can join us. Hey, it's Dan Ensch from 3rd place. Dan, congratulations. Welcome to post-race interview. You got the podium position. Great race, great strategy.
Yeah, all except for the very last pit stop there. I rolled the dice and decided not to take tires. And I think if I'd have come out rolling full speed before Strid and Bunyan came up to me, maybe I could have held them off. Maybe I could have commanded the lower line and held them off a little bit. But no, it didn't work out that way. I wasn't up to speed. They got by me, and congratulations to them on running a great race. But hey, I thought I did pretty good today.
I think you certainly did. And again, this is what we've been talking about for so long. You know, really seeing that fuel strategy work out. Like you said, though, unfortunately, we were so excited when we saw Bunyan kind of drop off of the lead, have an issue getting to pit lane, and thought that maybe there at the very end you'd be able to underfuel the car or take less fuel on the car and perhaps end up there in first. But it got just too tight there at the end. Little difficult to keep up. Now, did you take tires on that last pit stop?
No, I didn't, and I probably should have. It might have cost me a couple of seconds, but I think it made the difference in the end. There was still 12 laps to go when I pitted, and that was just too many to try to do what I did. So a little bit of an error there, but yeah, still had fun.
Well, still fun, and you look great out there. How was it to race today? You talked a little bit about, you know, the setup being developed again by others, and it's a fixed setup, and you only have so many adjustments. Was it hard to pass out there? It looked extremely difficult to get by anybody, even on the high line.
Yeah, and it made for some great racing. I mean, you could be halfway past somebody and find out you didn't get past them at all, and they come right back on you on the outside or whatever. So nice thin track. I mean, not a whole lot of room to make mistakes, so you had to be real careful out there, especially in a pack. But yeah, everybody out there, I thought, did a tremendous job today, considering the circumstances of this track and this car and this kind of speed. To not have any more yellows than we did, it just goes a long way in saying what kind of guys we got racing in this league. They make it a lot of fun.
Absolutely, super clean, and I mean, just a couple of small mistakes costing some of these drivers, but the worst one of which costing Iñigo Mardones, who was having a fantastic run have no idea where that speed came from, but he was all the way up there into second, and then I think the tire started to fall off, and he kind of spun up onto the track, taking out Mr. Kelbaugh. But aside from that, everything else clean today, and as you said, US IndyCar League continue its reputation of clean green flag racing to the end. Another fantastic race for you. Dan, this time the fuel strategy kind of paid off, almost bought you that win. Looking good for the end of the season. You going to go back and try the fuel conserve strat now that it's an official game changer?
No, I'm just going to try to figure out a way to cheat and see where it takes me from there. But I want to thank StickQuik for putting this league on. They do a tremendous job, and our greatest appreciation to Richard and all the guys at StickQuik for making this league happen and giving us a nice broadcast with your efforts every week. That makes it so much more fun, and we do appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And of course, you always carry that alz.org on there. We got a chance to talk about it last week, and always great to bring awareness to your primary sponsor there in the Alzheimer's Association.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. And great to have you with us. So that's Dan Ensch joining us from third. Good luck for the rest of the season, Dan, as you continue to climb back up into that points battle. We're going to see if we can grab... we'll see if maybe we can grab, since he's around, Howard Livingston. I don't see Graham Bunyan available at the moment, or Jason Lowe, but we'll see if we can snap Howard Livingston into the booth for a moment. Is Howard, are you there? I don't know if we got him. Hey, Howard, it's Trevor here in the booth. You got me? Nope. No contact from Howard. It's to be understood. I don't think these drivers take it that seriously. I don't think he's drowning his tears in a bowl of Cheerios at the moment. But, you know, Howard's got a great lifestyle out there, and he's got a lot of stuff to get onto in Florida, including playing music and just hanging out and enjoying the beautiful weather and the palm trees. But tell you what, Graham Bunyan down there in Australia, Brisbane, he certainly knows something about palm trees and beautiful beach life, as well as David Strid, his countryman from Australia. David Strid taking the victory here in Charlotte, and what a fantastic one, as Strid and Bunyan definitely the class of the field. They got quite a scare there from Dan Ensch, that's for certain, and earlier on from Iñigo Mardones, but nevertheless, it was Strid's race. Bunyan was so close, and just a couple of small mistakes really costing these two from being able to really walk away from it. But let's go ahead and see if we can take a look at next week's schedule here. We have to get some stuff off the screen in order to do that and take a look at what we have remaining. So, of course, this was Charlotte, and next week we do another D-shaped 1.5 mile oval. Will all the same regulars who dominated this week and look so good, including Howard Livingston, who of course was making a challenge up there in second, will they return to the front next week, or will it be a new challenger? You never know. We always get new drivers in the series. That'll be next week at Atlanta. That should be exciting. Then we go to California, my old oval home stomping grounds favorite track. That'll be fun, wide open. Talladega, you talk about wide open. That will be a blast to see these cars at full song. And then Kansas finally ending up at the Indy 250, the Care Camps Indy 250, presented by StickQuik. That'll always be a special race, and that will be on the 20th of February. So with that, today's race will come to a close. Once again, thank you so much for joining us here on VirtualRacing.Network. My name is Trevor Greenfield. Been calling all the action today. If you enjoyed today's race, please make sure you subscribe to VirtualRacing.Network channel. Just click that big red subscribe button, and you'll get not only notified of our upcoming races, you can see our upcoming schedule and any other series and leagues that we are covering. Get notified of that. Make sure to tick that little bell icon also, and you'll get all the notifications. And of course, like the video as well. And if you want to get involved with the US IndyCar League, if you're a driver out there who's done a little bit of IndyCar racing, you want to get into this great league on Sunday mornings, hey, just look at that link down in the description. You can click through and apply to the league. Costs nothing to join. Just want to see some great more IndyCar drivers out there to take on these great drivers in David Stridd and Graham Bunyan, who managed to get it done each and every week. Congratulations to David Stridd and Graham Bunyan, as well as Dan Ensch there with his third place finish. It's been a pleasure, and until next time, this has been Trevor Greenfield. Have a wonderful rest of your week, everyone. See you next Sunday, same time, same channel. Bye-bye, everybody.